Hola clase. Today we will be studying vocabulary related to greetings, introducing ourselves to each other, and saying goodbye. So you have a download here, los saludos y las despedidas. I have mine opened already. So let's take a look at them. We can introduce ourselves. We can say hello in Spanish. It's hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. In fact, combining the two, hola, buenos días, is also very common. Hola, buenas tardes. Buenas noches can also be used to say goodbye in the evening. Buenas noches, good night. To say goodbye, we say adiós, hasta luego, hasta pronto, hasta la vista, etc. There are two pronouns that we use that we will study in more depth in another unit in the same module. These are the pronoun for you, tú and usted. Tú is used in informal settings with family, friends, peers, that would be coworkers or classmates, and usted, which you would use with elders in your family, with your teacher, with officers, with strangers, certainly, and in business settings. To ask somebody the name, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo se llama usted? And to reply to both formal and informal, me llamo, or mi nombre es. You can reply either way, but much more common is me llamo. Me llamo el profesor Ellis. Mucho gusto. We can follow the conversation with mucho gusto. We reply to that with encantado, encantada. Men would say encantado. Women would say encantada. Likewise, el gusto es mío, and igualmente, to follow that up even further. Now, once we go beyond two-person dialogue and we want to introduce a third person, then we can use these phrases. Te presento a, if you're introducing someone to a friend. Le presento a, if you're introducing someone to a teacher. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal can be used formal or informal. It's a little bit informal, but it can still be used in both situations. We can reply bien, muy bien. No muy bien. No muy bien is if something's going on. You've had a bad day or you're not feeling well. Regular is okay, so. The most common are muy bien and bien. To put the question back to the person, ¿y tú? Or ¿y usted? Some other questions we can ask, ¿qué hay de nuevo? ¿Qué pasa? And we can reply to those, nada. In English, we might say, for instance, nothing much. And in Spanish, you could say, no mucho. We've included some more questions so that you can take the dialogue beyond that a little bit. ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? ¿De dónde es usted? And yo soy de. Notice that in the reply, there is no formal or informal distinction. It's only in addressing someone. When we talk to someone directly, we must choose between formal or informal. There's no neutral form. So in every dialogue situation, you have to establish whether you want to use formal or informal. And it's best to be formal in Spanish, unless you're pretty certain that it should be informal. We've also included some courtesy expressions, gracias. We reply to gracias with de nada or no hay de qué. You're welcome or think nothing of it. Lo siento, perdón, to excuse yourself. Con permiso, to get through a crowd. And por favor. So study this vocabulary a lot and go to Quizlet and practice it there as well. So I've opened the page here. You can click on this link up here. You go to Quizlet and practice the vocabulary. Hola. What was hola? That's right. It was hello or hi. We move on. Buenos días. Good morning. Perfect. Follow this structure. Learn, write, spell, and test and learn the vocabulary very well. Let me go back here for a second. If you're taking this class online, then this is what you'll be working with and then doing your pre and post exercises as scheduled in your calendar view. If you're taking this class live online, so that you'll have a class session as well, then we'll be using some additional handouts. And let me show you this handout that we'll be using in class. So I've opened it as well. This is a handout with 3 situations for dialogues. In class, you will be collaborating with a classmate and coming up with sample dialogues for these situations. So let's take a quick look at them. In the first one, it looks like 2 peers are speaking. They could be friends, co-workers, or classmates. Do you think their tone would be formal or informal? That's correct. It would be informal because they are peers. So the dialogue that you create in this section for this situation would be using the forms of tú. Hola, ¿cómo estás? If they just met each other in class, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres? All the tú forms. In the second situation, what do you think about that? It looks like a business setting. They may be co-workers or it may be a job interview situation. At any rate, it's a business setting. So we should use the formal forms, the usted pronouns. So, buenas tardes, it's light out. You can see that through the window. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo está usted? ¿De dónde es usted? All the formal forms. In this third picture, notice there is a third person in the group. So imagine 2 people. Let's say these 2 people are friends and they're walking across campus the first day of class and they run into another friend. She's a friend of hers. And she wants to introduce her new friend to her. Would this setting be formal or informal? That's correct. It would be informal because they're all students, classmates. And she would say, hola, Ana, ¿cómo estás? Te presento a mi amigo Julián. Ana would say, hola, Julián, mucho gusto. Julián would say, hola, Ana, encantado. And continue the dialogue that way. But again, it would be an informal setting and we would be able to introduce third person expressions. So in class, you will work with a classmate, create some of these dialogues that are appropriate to the setting, and then share some of them with the class. You can certainly practice them a little bit ahead of time if you have time, but if not, don't worry, we have plenty of time during class to do it. All right, thank you. See you in class.